Hi everyone, Rémi Bolduc here from Montreal. Welcome to this video on the use of motifs. In the previous video, I talked about diatonic motif and harmonic motifs. And also I did a video on how to use unusual scales. If you're interested in those topics, you can click on the link right here, and I will also add the link to the videos in the description. The topic I'm covering today is chromatic motifs. Everything eventually becomes very similar, meaning if you take a diatonic motif and you make it in a very short form and practice it chromatically, for example, down by semitone, it will eventually become a chromatic motif. So they are very similar. The first thing that make the difference between the diatonic and the harmonic and chromatic motif, I would say, is the length. You want a motif for chromatic motifs that is very short, maybe 3 notes, 4 notes, and the main focus would be to hear how it transposes, how it sounds when you transpose it, so you don't have time to really sound like you're playing within a certain key. So when you transpose it, you would be looking at a different transposition, for instance, semitone, up or down, also bitone, by minor third, major third, tritone. And why am I choosing those intervals? Because all of these symmetries are based on the equal division of an octave. For instance, if you take an octave and you divide it in 12, you'll have semitone. If you divide it in 6, you'll have tone. In 4, minor third. In 3, major thirds. And in 2, tritone. So the different ways that I would practice a motif would be based on the symmetry of different intervals within an octave, basically. So for now, I'll focus on the symmetry based on semitone, and I'll go down by semitone. First thing, I'm going to choose a motif. Once I have this motif, I'll practice it in 12 keys as I did before. One of the difference is when I have practiced my motif in 12 keys, I'm not trying to associate it with a specific key. So I'm not thinking about tunes that have 2 5s when I will apply it. Because when I'm going to be using it, I'm going to start anywhere, on any chord, on any note, and you'll see how that works. I'm going to use a concept of tension resolution. So here, how I proceed. Let's go in order. First, we pick a motif. Let me show you a few examples. Here, for example, a motif that goes up by semitone. Here's one going up by tone. Here's one going down by tone. And so on. The one I'll choose for today is going down by semitone. Now I will play it on my instrument, and I will not start very, very high, even though when I do practice, I start on the D altissimo. I just find it's not that pleasing to listen to this on the video, and I do practice it that high, even if it could be a little annoying, but it just, I want to cover the whole register of the instrument. But I will save your ears today, and I will start on the high F sharp. So here's the motif. And now I will focus mostly on the concept of tension resolution. I will improvise with this motif, but as opposed to think chord per chord, I will be thinking about the form. So we'll start with the blues. So the blues has 12 bars. I'll start by improvising with this motif on the first 4, and then play the next 8 bars of the form, playing the changes. So the first 4 bars will be the tension and then resolution. And I will alternate. Put the 4 bars at the beginning, put them in the middle of the blues, and at the end of the blues. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. One, two, hmm. Then I can, experiment and try to do 8 bars. Let's say, as an example, I'll resolve in the middle of the blues on the fifth bar. And after that, for the other bars, from bar 9 to bar 5, I'll play with the motif. So only resolving this time in the middle. One, two, hmm. So the idea is to take a piece and focusing more on the form than you would on the changes, and then go back to the changes. So this sense of tension resolution help you to get better at hearing forms and give you a big sense of freedom as well when you improvise. So you create some tension when you go in those motifs and then you resolve. So this approach is more flexible of, for instance, playing substitutions when you improvise, and it really helps you to develop a good sense of playing over a form, for sure. I can even stretch further and play one full chorus of a blues with the motif and a chorus of the chords. So I'll start with playing a full chorus of the blues so you can hear really well the form, and then for full chorus I'll play with the motif and go back to the form. One, two, hmm. And eventually, when I improvise, sometime I'll go in that direction and start improvising intervallically and thinking sometime improvising motif, and I don't play the motif I practice necessarily, but it just helped me to hear those kind of ideas. And now this concludes this series of video that talk about diatonic, harmonic, and chromatic motifs. Myself, I play one of those motifs every day and apply it. I mean, this whole thing takes me like probably less than 30 minutes a day, and it's much longer during the video for sure. And as I go, I change a motif, change ideas, and sometimes, of course, I practice differently. This is just a way I've been practicing lately, and I'm trying to cover right now a bit my schedule. So if you have any comments or questions about saxophone and improvisation, I'll be happy to give you advice if I can. And I guess the next series of videos, I probably will focus on rhythms now that we talked so much about the notes. And I'll talk about the different ideas that I do in my daily practice when I work on rhythms. So thank you for watching, And if you haven't done so, you can subscribe to the channel so you'll be notified when I have new videos coming out. Also, please like the video. This way it tells me if those topics are interesting to you. And that's it. So have a good musical day. Take care.